Why do we survey? You have been surveying for a long time now. But have you ever asked this question to yourself? Why do we survey? There are three main reasons why we survey. First is trade and economics, second is energy, and third is profit. Imagine you want to send a small letter or a parcel. Depending on your urgency and the distance, you might choose a proper service. Urgent, you send it via courier. It's costly but reaches faster. Not urgent, you save it via post and you save cost. But what if you want to send massive quantities of goods like iron ore or tons of food grain from one end of the country to the other end, or maybe from one continent to another? Then sending it via ship makes sense. A ship does take some time to travel, but it saves tons of money. And saving money means profit. And now you know why sending something via ship makes perfect sense. But what if a ship runs aground in shallow waters, losing all its precious cargo? What if a ship cannot even reach a port to load and unload due to insufficient depth? That's a big problem, right? Hello everyone and welcome to Surveying Basics. I am Avijit and today we are going to explore why surveying the seas and the ocean are crucial for world economy. So let's dive right into it. First thing first, we need a jetty, a storage area and a harbor for the ships to come in. We also need to keep the channel clear with maintenance dredging. So we survey to build the port and keep it running smoothly. Now ships don't just sail randomly. They need to follow a shortest and safest route. For that we need to survey the coastal area. We survey for the depth, any hidden rocks, shoals or even sunken ships. And for the ships to navigate properly, we need to make a navigational chart. We also survey for coastal zone management, ocean environment, coral reefs, marine habitat and fishing ground. Exciting, right? Surveying is the backbone of safe and efficient marine activities. The biggest reason we need offshore surveys is for the energy sector. Think about it. Every day we use petrol, diesel, aviation fuel and cooking gas. From brewing the first cup of coffee in the morning to commuting to work and back at home, we use the petroleum product at every step. Look around you. From your toothbrush to the water bottle to the Vaseline to the cosmetics, petroleum products are everywhere. Even the tar on the road and the waterproofing on your ceiling is made by the petroleum byproduct. But where does all this comes from? These are fossil fuels from long dead marine animals. As a surveyor, our job is to locate the reservoir of this fossil fuel, find a way to extract them and then transport them back to the shore facilities where they can be turned into usable fuels that we use every day. And this requires a variety of surveys. Let's dive into the fascinating world of offshore surveying. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Join as a member of this channel to have access to all the exclusive videos for my dedicated channel members. First thing first, we need to find the oil and gas reservoir which can be hidden 2 to 8 kilometers below the seabed. It's not as simple as digging anywhere and striking oil. So how do we do it? We use a technique called seismic surveying. In this, we send out a very low frequency pulses into the seabed and it penetrates deep into the seabed and reflects back from various layers of the rock. We analyze these reflections and look for a specific layer that might be hiding oil and gas reservoir beneath them. Big seismic ships use a very long array of sensors towing behind them. And to make sure that they are safe, we need to carry out a hazard clearance survey in that particular survey area. One thing to keep in mind, low frequency pulses cannot penetrate all the rock layers. And not every impenetrable rock layers hides a reservoir. Now to confirm the presence of oil and gas, we need to dig deep. Very deep. This is where the oil rigs comes in. Depending on the depth of that area, these drilling rigs can vary in sizes and shapes. They drill through the cap rock to reach the oil and gas reservoir, and then they assess the quality and quantity of the oil reserves. Rigs will drill at multiple locations to ensure that there are enough good quality material to extract. So what happens next? The field operators will decide whether to develop that area into an oil and gas field or move on to the next spot. This decision hinges on the commercial viability. If there is enough crude oil in the reservoir to justify the full development cost of the field and continue production for the next several years, they will continue to develop the field. Otherwise, they will simply move on. It's all about making profits. Let's say a huge reservoir was discovered and the field operators decided to develop the field. A flurry of activities will happen to develop a greenfield. Some activities will happen simultaneously and some activities will happen one after another. But they will pretty much follow the same pattern. First, a geotechnical ship will carry out a borehole in the entire field to check for the soil strata and stability of the layers. This data will be correlated with the already established seismic data up to a depth of about 100-150 meters. At the same time, a long period Metocean observation will take place in the field to capture the wind data, the tide, the current and the wave. These are very crucial data to develop the field and they are done up to a year or so. These two sets of data, the borehole data and the Metocean data, will give the field operators a very good idea of how to go about developing the field. Then a pre-engineering survey will be carried out in a wide area where the offshore oil platforms and the pipelines will be installed. Seabed depth and topography, shallow seismic data, water and soil samples will be collected during this survey. Now with this detailed survey, the client will try to plan where to put the drilling platforms, the processing platform, how to run the pipelines from one platform to another and then from the field to the shore facility. Now the drilling rigs will also be working simultaneously to establish a new wellheads at the platform locations. So there will be a flurry of activities like rig moves. Once the details have been finalized, a pre-construction survey and anchor clearance survey will be carried out by a survey vessel. Again, it is similar to the pre-engineering survey but more concentrated on the pipeline route and the platform location. Detailed seabed depth and topography and shallow seismic data will be very important for this survey. There will be construction barges coming and they need to anchor. And as their anchors runs far and wide, we need to carry out a hazard clearance survey in about 2 kilometer corridor. And then begins the construction phase. Big construction barges will come in to install the platform and lay the pipelines. There will also be a lot of support barges to support the construction of these pipelines and the platforms. Next phase of the construction work will be as-laid and as-built survey. This survey is carried out to check if the platforms and pipelines are built and laid as per the specs or not, or if there is any correction required or not. There will be barges for riser installation, crossing correction and grouting. Accommodation barges will be deployed to connect the subsea pipelines to the platform. And then there will be pressure test and operational test. When everything checks out, the newly built assets will be handed over to the field operator. There are a lot of work, don't you agree? As a surveyor, you will be present in every vessel, every barge, every step of the field development. In my upcoming video, I will discuss about the very basic of this measurement. I am sure you do not want to miss the opportunity to learn new things and be a good surveyor, do you? So make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. As always, be good, stay safe, ask questions and always be curious.